Welcome back to another one of my videos. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this cherry cheesecake using Greek yogurt. Now, I've made a cheesecake like this before on my channel with mandarins, so if you want to see that video, you can watch it up here as well. But let's get into how to make this one. We're going to start by making the crust. So for that, you're going to need 50 grams of sugar, 125 grams of softened butter, 250 grams of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 egg. Now essentially all we're doing is just adding everything into a bowl, and we're going to give it one mix until it just combined. Now that we have a nice crumbly dough, we're going to mix this together once with our hands until we have a nice ball of dough. At this point, we can go ahead and just gently roll it out. And I just prefer flouring my surface just a little bit to make sure that my dough doesn't stick. Now to make the crust, the first thing I'm going to do is make the bottom layer. So I'm just going to use my tin as a guide and slightly press it in. Now that I know how big it's supposed to be, I can just gently cut it out and then lay it into the tin. Now to make the edges of the crust, we're going to use the leftover dough and we're going to roll that out again, and we're going to cut that into strips. Now my cake tin goes a lot higher than our cheesecake is actually going to be, so we don't want to be left with a bunch of crust at the top. So I'm going to cut strips that are about 5 centimeters in width. So instead of having our strips be 5 centimeters in width, I actually changed it to 4 centimeters just because I think it fits a little bit better. So now that we have our strips, we're simply going to press them along the sides and then make sure that it matches up with the bottom one, and you can slightly push it in to make sure that there's no gap. Now I think my crust is good to go. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to make a couple of holes just along the bottom, and that's just going to make sure that our dough isn't going to bubble up. Now our crust can go into the fridge to chill while we make our filling. Now for the filling, you're going to need 3 eggs, 150 grams of sugar, 1 package of vanilla sugar or just a splash of vanilla extract, the juice of half a lemon, 250 milliliters of milk, 500 grams of Greek yogurt, any flavor works. I'm just using plain Greek yogurt, and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Now we're going to start by whisking together the sugar, vanilla, and our eggs until kind of creamy before adding in the rest of our ingredients. Our dough is completely chilled, so we can get to assembling our cheesecake. Now, of course, to make this a cherry cheesecake, you're going to need some cherries. So I've already gone ahead and drained off 1 glass of sour pitted cherries. And you're also going to need 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. Now, the breadcrumbs are basically just going to help get any of the moisture that's in the cherries and kind of help thicken it up and absorb it. And if you want to save any cherries for any sort of decoration on top, this is the time to do so. That being said, we're just going to add our cherries and our breadcrumbs and give that one mix, and we can do that directly in our tin before adding our Greek yogurt mixture right on top. This is going to wander into the oven that's been preheated to 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for 70 to 80 minutes. Now that our cheesecake is all cooled off, you can decorate it with some whipped cream and your leftover cherries, or leave it just like this, it's totally up to you.